Okay, just a quick video here. I was doing some organization in my craft room and I came across this pad memories, and I don't know how long it's been there, but I flipped it over. This is unopened, but it has a Stampabarbara label on there, and if anyone remembers Stampabarbara, you've been stamping a long time, and you might also know how long they haven't been around. Okay, it was a fantastic retail store based out of Santa Barbara, and then they had stores in Los Angeles on Melrose and also in Orange County, if you know Southern California, in Crystal Court in the South Coast Plaza. But I thought I would check this out and see if it still works. It's probably 20 years old at least, I would say. And Memories Black was always a really strong black. You know, you always want one to be, your black pad as close to 100% black as possible. A lot of them are kind of around that 80%, but Memories was always very strong. All right, now I can see right away this pad is not connected to this tray anymore. It's really dried up. Look at that. Oh boy. I would really doubt that this is going to work, but let's see if it still has any. Well, that ink is not dry, but let's check it out. In the spirit of the Stampabarbara purchase from so long ago, I have a couple stamps here that I probably purchased at Stampabarbara, not, Stampscapes, but I thought I would give it a try here. This one right here is by Gumbo Graphics, no longer around. But I pulled off some price tag here, and I'm guessing it was a Stampabarbara one. I don't know. I don't think... I purchased, some stamps from Gumbo Graphics at the Carson show as well, when they used to attend all of those ones. But, I don't know. Let's give this a try here. I think I've seen this Sun in other catalogs as well. Not so much recently, but back in the day. Alright, it looks good. That pad there is kind of irritating to work around, but being that it's loose, but as long as it still has the ink in there, it should be just fine. Okay, now this black pad was the favorite of some people I know in terms of their black pads, just because it is so dark. But one of the things that I found, this is a little gargoyle or something stamp by Graven Images, okay, out of Tennessee. Purchased at a Stampabarbara, but I don't know, when I went in there I saw 2 or 3 images by this company and I really liked it, but I just saw this company also in that rubber stamp source book video that I just did. Alright, this thing's just falling right off of here, this price tag, it's so old. But, I don't know, I saw the page there by Graven Images. I didn't see this image on there. But, I don't know, it was kind of nice to see them. I don't know if Gumbo Graphics was in that book too, the rubber stamp source book. They probably are. Anyway, one of the things though, okay, when using this Memories Black that I found, okay, and now this is like a 20-year-old pad, and I'm not finding this to be the case now because it is, I'm sure not as juicy as it was, even 5 years ago, but 20 years ago, 15 years ago, or whatever, right out of the pad, I found the Memories to be so black and so juicy with ink, I might have to wait overnight for it to dry before I could start applying ink to it because it would smear, But, I don't know. I like the consistency of it now, but it is very old. Now that delamination is not going to be happening. This is by Stuart Superior. With a new pad, it probably delaminated, I don't know, 5 years ago after 15 years or something, or maybe 10 years ago, but I don't know, sitting around on the shelf for 20 years, I would say I don't know if it's been that long. Maybe it's, I don't know. It could be. I think it's over 15 years. It's between 15 and 20 years because it's been quite some time since Stampabarbara was around. But I don't know, that pad still works. And it's really surprising. You know, I'm not living in some area that's like super arid, you know, here in California. If you're out in, I always mention this, like in Arizona or like you know, New Mexico, or kind of more of the arid states, you know, that are going to be very dry, especially during the summertime. Maybe during, you know, all year round, you know, without this being kind of, well, it was sealed in this, but that's not too much. But, you know, I would imagine that'd be a little bit drier. But I knew someone that lived in Arizona, and this was his go-to pad for all his black, so he'd stamp at his compositions. And he said he never had a problem with it smearing out there, so it's going, you know, your pads are always going to react differently for the different areas that you're in, but I know this one's a good go-to one for, say, foreground imagery, especially. I've since been using VersaFine a little bit more, just because I had it, you know, but I kind of forgot about the Memories one. The Memories one might be a little bit dry for me right now, but I always want a really strong black, very stark, you know, crisp, dark impression for my foreground imagery to really give, you know, punch that idea of kind of foreground space and the darker values, you know, in front and lighter ones in the back. So Memories are a pretty good choice, and I guess after 20 years, you know, that pad in theory would still work. Now this one has been sealed in this, so I don't know how long, you know, this will work. This doesn't feel too tight on here, but you know, I mean, if you are concerned about that, you can always store these types of things in a Ziploc bag. You know, it might be kind of a pain to you know, bag it, you know, seal it every time you want to use something like this. But if you're going to leave it for a while and not use it, you might want to consider doing something like that, and just kind of protecting the ink a little bit more from evaporation. All right. So, anyways, just a quick scene, and pleased to see that pad does still work after such a long time on the shelf.